Good morning, I'm Sean, Fire of Life 2018, and welcome to our daily viewer chat and chill, where we hang out and chat with you. Chat will appear on the screen. We have cool little emoji floats, so I encourage everyone to use their emotes. We try to keep it positive around here, and our daily affirmation is coming up. Find that right button. Button. Daily positive affirmation generation. I like saying positive affirmation generation. Wrong one. Affirmation generation. I know my worth. It's our daily affirmation situation. I know. And it's a lot. These are the custom emotes you get when you subscribe to my channel. They're fun, right? Hey HK, thanks for pinning. Missed you yesterday. Did you just pop in and out yesterday too? Hi. So, I was watching movies yesterday. Well, I guess I was watching YouTube stuff yesterday, and apparently the Try Not to Laugh. Sorry, I was kind of busy yesterday. That's okay. I respect having a life. Just wanted to let you know you were missed. That's what's important. I often say that it's when you look back at the end of your life, you're not going to be saying, did I work? Did I get this done? Did I get that done? You're going to be worried about the people and time that you spend your life with. So it makes a difference. I think the people connections are what keep the world going. And honestly, I really feel that's the problem with the world right now. Nobody cares about what anybody else thinks. It's like, me. I'm in the me generation. I care about me. And it's good to know your own worth, for sure. But you need to recognize the value of others, too. And if you don't, then you'll end up alone. Because everybody wants to be valued. And truthfully, if we all valued one another as equals, everyone would feel valued. You'd walk around all day and you'd just feel valued. Like, oh wow, I recognize you as a human. Need things. Can do things. Not all the same things as me versus you. It's important. Recognize the differences. So, keeping it positive. Good morning. Start your day right. Make sure that you go out and face this day with the energy that I know you possess. Because you know your worth, as our positive affirmation is today. So I made a whole that might have the opposite effect. What do you mean? Like if everybody cared about everybody, you think it would be bad? You're worried about people being nosy up in your business? That is the downside. That is the downside. They'll start to care about you. Your life becomes interesting to them. That your drama is interesting to them then. I just went to a thing yesterday with my volunteer organization. One of the ladies that I've volunteered with for years, like she's upwards of 20 years of volunteer service, just got diagnosed with Parkinson's. Ugh. She's talking about outliving her husband, and I mean they're both in their 80s, so it's like I don't know if I got a diagnosis of anything when I was 80, would I be like, ah? I mean, like you're 80. Something's gonna kill you, right? Like you just have identified what it is. Doesn't mean like something's gonna kill you. Value essentially means you place someone in a higher value than most people. That's not true. That's if you value over others. You just recognize that everyone has value, and everyone has different values. Like, just because I'm valuable, good morning, Silver. Just because I'm valuable for a certain thing does not mean Silver's not valuable for something else. And I think each individual, unique person has their strengths and their weaknesses, and valuing those is just as important as recognizing anything. Like, maybe it's the most important thing. If there's one skill in life that everyone needs, and it's how to recognize someone's talents. If you can be that person, and help a lot of people. A lot of people don't recognize what their own talents are. Especially if they grew up in a place that nobody tells them what their talents are, or nobody encourages them to broaden their horizons, then they stagnate. Nature is that of, it needs encouragement to thrive. Somebody has to believe in you. And know that I believe in you. I know you can do it. Whatever it is that you want to do with your life, with your day, I know you have the capability. Because you want it. If your mind wants it, it knows a way to make it happen. You just have to listen to it and then follow through. It seems to me that most of life is about following through with the things that you get to. A lot of times people will try to convince you to commit to things, even if you say, yeah, sure, I'll do it. If you don't really believe it, you're not going to move. So it's important to set your goals, set your intentions, and hold on to it. That's what I keep telling myself today, because like my YouTube channel was doing super good for like a week, and now it's not doing so great. I mean, it's not doing awful, but instead of getting thousands of views, I'm back down to like the hundreds of views. But the thing about making content is that you never know when one of those videos is going to do another 1,000 views. So I guess it's like you have to keep making content to find out what works for people. And apparently it changes, because I feel like the things that were working before that I continued to make more things of no longer worked. Like, well, wait, does that mean come up with new and creative ideas every time? I really thought it would just be like once you found your formula, you would just kind of create the same videos over and over, different formats. Seems what everybody else does. Maybe the objective here is to come up with new content. And I mean, I like the idea of just straight up continuing after our little morning wake and bake, just rolling right into a game that I can then just upload to YouTube afterwards. But I mean, it seems like nobody's watching those on YouTube, like my Let's Plays. But I just subscribed to the video IQ thing, and that's supposed to be giving me like better hashtags and better thumbnails and better AI generated whatever clickbait. I hate playing the game. I really, like, remember I said this, if I ever get famous from YouTube, and I'm like, wow, I really hate playing the clickbait game. But then I bet just as soon as you stop playing the game, probably fall out of favor. I bet just even if you get famous in YouTube, you probably still have to keep playing that clickbaity game to get people to continue to keep clicking your stuff. And that's what I feel like that's what we talked about with psychological marketing. Like, we all know it exists, but it works. Even when you know it exists, even when you know what the tricks are, they still work. They still work. I think the shirt might be getting. You think it's about momentum? I mean, that's what they say. Is that once you get I want to say it's like 1,000 subs or something, you have to get like that's when you start getting like exponential gains. But the subs are really hard for me anyway. Some might still say. Right. Maybe. There's probably some kind of, maybe I should go look like the original YouTuber, like who was the first ever famous YouTuber. The other one that I could think of that's like still famous, but doing like different stuff is Mr. Beast. But I believe he still does his crazy like I spent 100 hours in the Walmart videos. Because he probably has to do it to make money. I mean, I love what he's doing as far as like taking the YouTube and making it like, oh wow, I'm gonna go do this Wales in Africa thing. Like, that's amazing. I would love to do that. Like, if I ever became rich and famous from YouTube money, I would definitely pay that back. I would live in my same house and probably still grow weed because passion. And yeah, I'd give back. I already do that. And it would just facilitate my ability to give back further, I think. Because the world needs somebody out there giving back. I'm glad that Mr. Beast does it. I wonder, like, my original plan was always to run for office. If I ever got famous, I would just run for office so I could actually give back. Like, let's go make some legislation. Let's go make some real change. Like, if you get enough viewers, like, how much percentage of the population does one need? I mean, like, you get a YouTube channel up and running, and you're like, I want to run their presidency, and then use my YouTube to gather data. Find out really what the country wants. I mean, I feel like I know what the country wants. To be able to go to your job that you don't hate, to have health insurance, to have education, to have freedom. That's all Americans really want. They want to have all the good government things without the government oversight of. And I was talking to some people yesterday that were from Ireland, and they pay something like 40% taxes, and they're like, but you pay so much more taxes. And I'm like, but we pay 33% taxes here in America, and we don't get health insurance, don't get education. I think those are the two big ones. I think you should be able to go to college for free if you want to, like the government should pay for that. And like, if you're sick, you should be able to go to the hospital and they fix you and then you leave. I mean, if you're terminally ill, if you're crazy sick, they should still take care of you. Like, somebody needs to take care of people as they gracefully exit the planet. Nobody likes to see dead bodies laying around. Nobody likes to see homeless people laying around. If you think about the money that is made from health insurance and car insurance, and we get to fund foreign wars, though, that's important. If you really start to think about that we have a limit of money, we don't. We stopped on the gold standard since 1969, so it's not a this or that. They could give us free education and free healthcare and then still fund the foreign wars. They're making money up. It's fictional. It's like Bitcoin. Like, Bitcoin would work if the United States government decided to back Bitcoin. Then Bitcoin would really be solid and working. Like, the only reason that our dollar is worth anything is because the United States government says it is, and that's based on a credit rating we get from the international organization. That is why they're so worried about defunding our government, because once the government shuts down, it hurts our credit rating, which hurts our borrowing power, which hurts the ability of the dollar versus the rest of the economy. So they could do both. I know that you're super anti against Ukraine and our aid, but I really feel that's the smart move on the United States' part, because we're in NATO regardless, right? Like, we helped found it, we are a founding member, we are the founding principal military arm of NATO. So if we just let Russia invade Ukraine, you don't think, I mean, well, at this point now Finland and Finland and Sweden have now joined NATO as well, but before that they hadn't done it. And I feel like had we just let them roll right on top of Ukraine, Sweden and Finland would have been the next move, because they were not in NATO, and that whole war generated them joining NATO. And had we not helped them originally, the war would not have lasted as long as it would have. Like, that's the downside. Like, had we not helped them, there probably would not be so much death. Like, Russia would just own Ukraine. Less people would have died, but then they would no longer be living in a governance that they wanted. Like, the people of Ukraine have been democratic for a long time, like a whole generation, I'd say. And then you're suddenly going to be like, well, now you have to go back to communism. I could see how that would be upsetting. And I could see, and I see the need. I mean, I'm a bleeding heart. You know that. I'm like, help people. Help those people. They are people, regardless of the fact that they're not Americans. They're people. And they didn't do anything. Like, the Ukrainian people did nothing. They were just minding their own business until Russia decided to take them over. And that seems like something the world should stop. Like, the whole world should have got together and when they first did that and be like, yo, bro, no. Just stop. But the whole world doesn't believe anything. How dare the whole world believe that if we just made a compact that everybody's borders were to remain where they are, no more strife, no more struggle. Like, all the world leaders get together and say it's good. No more territory expansion, no more new maps. But our tax dollars are fictional. I mean, I feel like you really get stuck up on the tax dollars. Like, it's literally coming out of your pocket. Like, if we were not having a government, like a war in Ukraine right now, do you feel like your taxes would go down? I mean, like, you pay the same amount of taxes regardless of what they do with it. I mean, like, don't get too butthurt about it being your personal money. They would just spend it on something here, stupid. Like government bloat. I mean, have you looked to see how much administration costs, like, that we spend in our government? Like, I'm not talking about salaries, but I'm talking about, like, janitorial staff, building rentals, electricity, water, insurance, and all those buildings. Like, think about how much administrative fees our government pays on all the structures and things that the government owns. Like, I know it sounds weird that I'd be that guy. Like, can we reduce how many bills? Can we reduce the overhead of our government? Like, I'm not saying we sell the Pentagon or nothing, but how many of these little teeny tiny city halls do we have throughout America that are just unnecessary in middle age? Like, why is it required that my county has different rules than the county next door as far as, like, how the road maintenance goes? Like, because the county next door is a poorer county than mine, so it has less funding. Therefore, it has lesser quality roads. I still have to drive through them. Like, my tax dollars don't pay for the roads next door, but I still have to drive on them, and it busted up my shocks. Like, the problem is that they're just everybody's arguing about, like, we can't make any progress in any kind of government because everybody's like, but the other thing is more important. So do all those things. I don't understand why everybody keeps arguing about, like, we got to spend it here, we got to spend it here, we got to spend it here when we're making it up. Like, money is not real. Money is like, the little pieces of paper that we carry around in our pockets aren't even paper anymore. Like, it's digital ones and zeros now. And it's just to keep track of how productive you've been as a member of society, basically. And I think we've gotten past a point where it matters. Like, everybody's all worried about people getting welfare and the universal basic income and stuff, and you're like, if we give people a universal basic income, they have no incentive to work. Well, heaven forbid, somebody should make their job not miserable. So you might want to go do it because it's entertaining and fun and something you want to do. Like, I don't know if I've ever told this story on before, but I used to work in restaurants for years. And one time, there was this little girl who was sitting at my table, and, like, the way our kitchen door swung, you could kind of sort of see the dish pit from, like, where the door was and where they were sitting. So she was just staring at the dishwasher, like, every time the door opened, and I was just like, do you want to go see the kitchen? And she's like, oh, no, I've just always wanted to be a dishwasher. Like, her life's dream was to be a dishwasher because she thought it'd be fun to get to play in the water, like, it's hot, like, she gets to watch the clean plates get sprayed off. And I mean, I've been a dishwasher. It's not the worst job. I mean, it's like, you put your headphones in, the music's just jamming out, and you just get to go do your 8 hours and then dip the hell out. Not the worst job, not the greatest paying job in the world. One of the most important jobs in the restaurant that doesn't get paid shit, but somebody's dream. It's always somebody's dream. And I think that's, like, if you're thinking about the Star Trek universe, like, our positivity, people do the jobs because they find them entertaining. Like these, I don't know. They mentioned several times, like people are like, oh, you spend hours and hours and hours stuck in those Jeffrey tubes, and you're like, oh my god, I love it, just staring at circuit boards and making sure the connections are right. We all know people like that. That somebody, everybody knows somebody who loves to do some tedious, monotonous little task that we all like. Oh god, I hate that, and you're like, I love it. We all know somebody like that. So why don't we enable people to do the jobs that they love to do, that are required to do by society, at least at this point, until we get robots to do dishwashers, I guess. They're at least required by society to do. Why can't they make a living wage at that? I have never understood this capitalist urge to go make all the money you could make and hold it and lay it and just roll around in all the money you could make when you're just miserable. Like going to work every day, being miserable, been there, done that. Just to make money. Like you're just doing a job to make as much money as you possibly can. Like climbing that corporate ladder, getting more and more responsibility and more stress and more judgment. Why? I've been so happy living on this farm, growing my own food, growing weed, playing video games, hanging out, and like I wish I could make a living at it. I'm not happy. I'm not unhappy with my life. I'm unhappy at the level of income that lifestyle provides currently, and only because I don't have health insurance. To be fair, I make enough money that if I didn't have to worry about like incredible medical bills or dentistry, like $10,000 dentist bills, would I even be considering having to like go back to work? Because I don't spend money. I'm not in the capitalist world. I make enough money off my farm and side projects to buy the little things I need, like deodorants, and pay for my internet bills, my cell phone bills. But that's minimal stuff. I don't plan to be rich, ever. But America don't work like that. America don't work like that. Climb that ladder. Work harder. What do you mean I pay you to work an 8-hour job and you're only working 8 hours? Do you want to go up in this company? Do you want to be the CEO someday? You better work 90 hours a week. How dare you only work what I pay you? I'm sure you guys have all seen those videos where people are just railing on their bosses for being stupid. Everybody's had it. Everybody's had a boss. Ugh! Transitioning to everybody's had a boss, that leads me again to why I can't believe anybody votes for Trump. Did you watch The Apprentice? If ever there was a man I would not want to work for, that's he. You're fired. One little failure and they're done. Like the feedback's not like nah. The feedback is designed to be malicious, not entertaining or productive. Just shows a personality trait. The whole universe is mind-boggling. Still sitting at it. It's mind-boggling. Like, it could be anything. To me, I feel like my mind gets boggled at least twice a day. You listen to the news, at least twice a day. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. I mean, like the science stories that are coming out. Yay. I'm 100% in. Feedback was designed to be entertaining, and people loved it. I want to say that was the problem. That we have been... That goes back into the whole Chinese TikTok situation. Because I know you're like, how? The feedback was designed to be entertaining. Millions of people still love hearing Trump's feedback. I will tell you that I do know that Truth Social has less than 5 million users now, active daily users. 5 million people is millions, but I believe there's like 3,300 million in country, so that's still a teeny tiny population. But I agree with you that obviously it was on TV. It was more than one season even. There were several seasons. Like, people loved watching the events because people like watching other people get shit on. And I think that is a problem. That is not a societal urge that we should encourage. Humanity has a lot of really awful base instincts, and laughing at people when they get hurt is one of them. I've been watching these try not to laugh challenges, which I thought about doing on the channel, and I can't find any of those like videos where it's not at least every other video of somebody slamming into something, or somebody falling, or somebody hurting themselves, and I do not find that funny. So it's hard. Like, I don't know if the try not to laugh challenges would not be that hard for me. Most of those I sit there going, like, I'm just mortified at these people like falling down steps. And like, I was watching, I don't know if you know Tony and Ryan, but they do these try not to laugh challenges, and I was watching one with them, and this guy had a tree limb fall on his head, and it snapped his head all the way back. I mean, it looked like he died. I was like, nobody survived their head being torn that way. And they never showed the end of that video. Like, how many times have you watched one of those videos where you're like, oh my god, did he just die? And they just ended the video, but we still watched the part where he died. We just didn't see that he actually died. And I'm like, there's a lot of these videos where that person just died. Like, we're like, oh my god, they fell off that pole, but they're dead. Like, I personally can't get over it. I mean, and maybe that's what makes me special, is that I see that the way Donald Trump is designed to clickbait. Like, Donald Trump is clickbait. He's playing every trick he can play, every psychological trick that we know of, he uses. And that is really what terrifies me, is he's manipulating millions of people into believing all these false things because they're like, we trust Donald Trump because he uses psychological tricks to make you trust him. And is now basically a cult. I mean, because you can't tell anybody who's like a hardcore Trumper that when he says something, and you're like, oh, but here's a video of him saying something different 5 seconds ago. Well, he was joking in the first one. Well, why wasn't he joking in the second one? Like I'm not going to be a dictator except for day one. Like, okay. Okay. You're supposed to say, I'm not going to be a dictator because our Constitution doesn't allow that. Not how the presidency works. You can't do executive orders. You can't do all the things that they've been doing since Obama with these executive orders. But that only works because the American public believe it and abide by it. Like, law only works because American public believes in it and abides by it. You get to the point where the general public does not believe in a law, nobody's going to enforce it. And then it's no longer a law by practicality. Like, you might want to even use marijuana as a prime example of that now. Like, there are all kinds of laws all over the book, and they're talking about how to make it legal or whatever. But, like, if the police came up here now, like my local police, because it's still federally illegal, so they'd probably, I feel like the local police would probably have to call a federal bureau if they wanted to sue a marijuana arrest. Like, first of all, I'm not doing anything illegal. Have not sold anything. Don't have enough, like, I'm not doing anything illegal. So if police want to come up here and do a thing, I'm just going to be like, I'm not doing anything illegal. Lawyer determined. I got a lawyer on retainer. He's ready for all this stuff. So it's whatever. I'm not doing anything illegal. But they could. I mean, like, federally, I am doing things illegal because the laws federally and the laws on my state are different situations. So if, like, my local police were to come up here, I'm not doing anything illegal. But if the FBI shows up here, I am doing things because the laws are weird, stupid, overlapping. And you're like, that's like the immigration thing. They talk about it on the border. Provider. Yeah. I feel like that's probably spam. Are you a real person putting things in my chat, or is this spam? I wouldn't go to that website if it tried. I imagine they're probably trying to steal your login information. But thanks for your chat interaction, I guess. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow while you're here. Good luck. So we lost train of thought. I'm just mad there isn't already like a third contender. It's sad that Kennedy, JFK Jr. trying to run. Like his whole family's like, don't run. He's still trying to run. I don't really know anything about him, and I haven't checked to see what the libertarians are doing. But I mean, the libertarians might be a little bit too crazy. Libertarians have a few crazy ideas about like protections and things. I think the FDA is pretty good. We should probably keep the FDA. Do want to make sure there is somebody out there making sure that America's food supply is safe. That makes sense. Like the Water Administration, we want to make sure we got like I like the EPA. That's nice, but the EPA makes so many regulations. But most of their regulations are on corporations, so that's a positive. But regulations beget change. Can't do both. Did I tell you about the Irish lady at my event that we're arguing about gun control? She's like, just randomly walks up to me. I think these should be, and I guess she just thought because I'm liberal, I'm gonna be all like, yeah, pro gun control. And I'm like, I think gun control is a distraction technique. Like, they're really distracting you from the fact that we don't have health insurance or education. Like, let's talk about these guns or mental health care. I feel like the mental health care would be a much more like beneficial way to spend our time trying to figure out how to make that better. People will always find a way to kill people. The real trek is to find out why they want to, and can we stop that? And I was like, well, maybe if America wasn't so angry, it might help. But I feel like the vast majority of America right now is angry. Just at like literally everything. Just angry. And it's a lot of like pent up frustration because we can't really express our anger on the things that are angering us. Government. There has to be a way to make that better too. But I mean, that's because we are going on the assumption that all of humanity is bad. Like, they will take advantage of the system when they have the opportunity. And you know what? Being my experience, like working with a nonprofit agency in situations where I'm like out there trying to give away money, it's hard. Most people don't want to take your hand out. Which is, I mean, endearing in an American world to think that people are still out there with that American work ethic that we all want to have. And we do. Like, I think by far, Americans work more than most of the world. And I give the work in quotations because a lot of our work is like computery stuff. Whereas, like, the rest of the world's doing a lot of, like, manual labor. And they might go out and do 12 hours of manual labor, but we are doing 18 of computery stuff, where even after we get off work from our computer desk job, we go home and do some more work on our computers and just make our whole lives about what we do. where the rest of the world seems to have this disconnect. Or leave your job at job, come home and live a whole completely separate happy life. Where Americans just don't have that. It feeds in. So we're mad. Overworked, underpaid. As Bilbo Baggins once said, feels like too little butter spread over too much toast. Deep quote. And I've used it many times for allegory for our mental health. And it is what it is. Ways to make it better. Seek your local legislators. Send them emails. Send them phone calls. Get to know who they are. Go to their events. Politically active in your local. Those are the ones who actually start laws. There are many laws that are being started on the country that are good laws, like the Maine does choice voting, ranked choice voting already, and I wish the United States would do it. Totally. Ranked choice voting is where you get to pick, like they give you a list of candidates, like 4 or 5 candidates, and you'd pick your top 3. And then if like they do rounds of votes, they count up everybody's number ones, like how many number ones votes, and then the top 3 get to advance. And any of those, that like if you didn't pick number 1, your vote would then get moved to number 2. So like then your vote choice would move to number 2. So at least you would be like, oh well, I got my second choice, as opposed to I voted for a person and my vote was lost. Like, I would like to be able to rank them. Like, you could say right now we had Biden, Trump, Nikki Haley. What was the black guy's name that ran against Biden? There was another. There are 2 other Democrats that were trying to run, but if you got those 2 other Democrats in a popular election in ranked choice voting, they would probably, according to the polls, generic Democrat would win over Biden or Trump right now. If anybody else ran just as a Democrat and just was generic, they would win. And I kind of hope that's what happens, to be fair. I really hope that, like, at the last second, like we're talking about October, some random Democrat steps up and it's like, you know what? I'm gonna run. And then it's an Obama era again. Oh, that'd be great. Can Obama just come back for 4 years? That'd be great. I mean, like, isn't Biden just like an extension of the Obama era? I think Obama would be a more popular president. Of course, silly me, when Obama became elected, I really thought that was like the end of racism. I was like, look, you just proved that a black man can be the highest job in the land. Like, that racism is over. Proof. How wrong was I? How wrong was I? The universe does what it does and let it be, right? What else we gotta do? What else we gotta do? So, today's positive affirmation we will revisit. I know my worth. That's always important. It's important to know who you are and what you're. And go forth today knowing what you're worth. Take that with you. Like a little takeout box. So, my next question is, what am I going to play for today's game of the day? I have many options. Guess it's not really that relevant. Fair. Look at you using your admin powers, delete messages and banning people. Oof. Like a ninja in the night. Look out, you guys. Moderator HK's on desk. I did some thumbnail searches yesterday. Like I'm gonna come up with new thumbnails. I don't know if anybody saw this video. But I asked the AI yesterday, unlimited power. I asked the AI yesterday to draw an image that would get me the most clicks. That was this. Beautiful, beautiful image, and this was drawn by an AI. Like it's still blowing my mind, like the things the AI image can do. This new PixArt, like this program here, has a built-in generative AI into the app where you can type in the kind of things and give it the style you want. It's supposed to generate. Probably not going to do that because I don't pay for that. I'm not going to pay for that because Meta has a free one. But Meta's been where I'm drawing all these other things from. Like, you can animate stuff. I think I might use this like a GIF. I asked for gamer-themed pic that would get likes. That's what this is. And then I animated it. That's me. Which is crazy. Crazy. I'm gonna use this as clip art. Sure. But I mean, all these are AI generated. All of them. Look, like, they're not quite perfect. He's got weird eyes. Like, why is there only one shoe? I mean, there could be shoes somewhere else, but he's wearing two shoes and like the exact same shoe in the front. Guy in the background's blurred. Like, they're cool video. They're cool pictures. Pictures. Legit man. Blows my terrible ergonomics. Yeah, right. And they're all facing away from their monitors. Like, why is this guy gaming? Like, he clearly has the game behind him. Also, there's another like. And what? Like, this one's weird. Look at the thing. Like, what is this thing at the end? It's like suddenly decided to spurt out of his body. Like, what would the next frame be? This guy must be having a party, but he's the only one in the picture. He's waiting for his friends to get there. Like, he's got 2 pizzas, 4 controllers, and he's just sitting there by himself. And then whatever that thing is, I don't know what kind of glitch that is, and it looks like maybe he was trying to move his hand, or it's some kind of weird blur, like he was gonna go for the pizza, but they didn't, like the AI didn't know how to make him do that. Typical gamer. The game in the back is monitor content. That one's just for like, just to like, that'd be cool. Should I do that? I could totally get a like, I have a giant TV. I could put a giant TV right behind me and then like project the stream onto the giant TV. So it'd be like that could be fun, right? Or like this guy who's working out. Is that like a mouse? And I don't like. I don't know what kind of exercise. Is he blending into the floor? Like, where's his other leg going? Like, he must have a hole in the floor. Like, he's pushing. I'm not sure what's happening there. And, like, what are these little black things at the bottom? I know you can't really see because of shit. Black circle, stop it. It's gonna do it every time it repeats. Yeah. Black. I don't know, it's like little balls of clay. That just looks like a wrapped person second. Fire, I can't. I had to move my monitor up here. See you, Silver. Fire of Inception 2018. Oh, I like it. I loved Inception. That was a great movie. How about Galactic Civilizations? Like Galactic Civilizations. Looks like they have an update. How about this game? It's relatively new. It's a 4X exploration game in space, much like Stellaris. And I have to say that I have not played as much. Like, I might have only played 20 or 30 hours of this. It's probably one of my newer purchases. But I can't say that I'm enthralled. I don't find myself, like, thinking about playing. You know, like, sometimes you find yourself thinking about playing a game. Other times, nah. Other times.